All right. Ben.
Hi.
Hi, how are you? This is the thought I woke up with this morning, and I thought I would roll by it because I watch a lot of old music documentaries and fairly random things that it was of a time when labels would kind of shoehorn their artists into touring together. Like, it was just, well, you're on the same label. I mean, it makes sense. Just put you out on the road. I can only imagine that's changed perhaps throughout the years. And I wondered, even with a cool label like Sub Pop, I mean, is that still a traditional thing where it's like you got to go out with a label mate? Or do you ever get to say, who I really want on this tour?
Wow. Cool question. Okay. I can tell you Iron and Wine certainly got shoehorned into taking us out on tour when we were both on Sub Pop before we like really popped off. Since then, I have not found that to be the case. It's more management, has been more management based where they're like, oh, it kind of seems like they're doing favors for other,
Right.
it's like, oh, because we've got so-and-so artist supporting, that artist. Can you do us a favor and, paying Peter to buy Paul? I'm not sure how that works.
Yeah, it's kind of like getting set up on a blind date or something that you have no say in at all. It's like, wait, what? But
there's times where it's like, oh, your friends, if they want to come with you, well, they got to take like $200 and basically starve to death. And I'm like, how can I look my friends in the eye
right.
out on tour if they can't afford to even sleep somewhere?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Well, with this new record, which had its obstacles of getting into retail, and what was there a shortage in mailers or what? I mean, what was the actual holdup for the record release?
I could probably do a better job of investigating exactly what happened with the vinyl shortage, but I do know that the supply chain stuff added to a vinyl plant slowing down, and it might be a lack of vinyl plants in themselves.
Yeah.
I think we're all kind of at the mercy of, how busy they are.
Yeah, I think I just saw something in the news this morning, Jack White saying more people need to press their own records, distribute their own records, which again is always a wonderful DIY way to do things, but not everyone is Jack White.
Exactly. I don't have that kind of money. I can tell you that.
So, one of the things that, and I don't know if I talked to you ever, I'm sure you've been here at the Current several times.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
one of the things that always struck me was the record that you guys made at the Ryman, which I just wonder if walking onto that stage, which, quite literally is a church, if you felt the sense of just ghosts of music past in there.
Oh my goodness. I can tell you, and having had the pleasure of playing there a couple times now, maybe a handful, if I'm very lucky. So it's the backstage where I really like, they have these, old posters from, Patsy Cline and George Jones and things like that, and Hank Williams, where you absolutely feel the ghosts, whether they're real or not. Your subconscious wants to feel them. You want to feel the history seeping into your bones in a way.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how much of it's real, how much of it is also like yourself getting worked up and a bit scared about stepping on hallowed ground.
Right.
But for me, it's always felt very real.
Hank Williams was viewed in his casket at the Ryman, which is
God.
bananas.
Yeah.
But, maybe a different time. I don't know. That's always struck me whenever you see documentary films of anybody like politicians and leaders and things like that. It's always struck me as a peculiar thing that it's this public domain of like, yeah, I got a ticket to go walk past the casket. It's like, what? It's crazy.
That's my Casket. I can't wait to go on tour with my Casket. And we're going to hit
Yep.
the 7th Street entry.
Hmm.
We're going to hit.
Fill it with
Yeah.
ice and stick
Yeah.
some beers in it.
Yeah. We're not going to be able to play like the big room. We're going to play the entry for my death.
Well, I got to know too, though. So everybody has been just kind of beaten down in one sense or another over the last 2 years of events. And
Yeah.
some people have come out with some renewed sense of something, whatever that may be. Maybe it's not even related to the music you make. What did you come out of it with? Maybe an extra skill set, an extra interest level in?
I came out with an extra dependent. I have a new dog. So I got my 5th daughter, basically. But other than that, I mean, my trip during this whole thing was a bit of a drag. And I'm still trying to shake it off. So if anything, I might have come out with a bit of PTSD from like divorce and stuff.
Right, right. I mean, that's real. I don't think anybody can really question the validity of that.
Right.
And I think people, too, who maybe weren't the most terribly, well, I guess it works conversely. People who were really, really sociable probably suffered in a way. And even those that would say, I'm an introvert by nature, it's kind of like, well, you can only take that really so far. But yeah, just the nature of music, the nature of live music. I mean, all of that, even if you consider yourself introverted, it's like, you've missed out on putting these songs, these performances in front of these faces and these ears. And that's just got to feel a little strange.
Oh, it's very strange. It's weird coming from a place where I didn't exactly mean to become like a singer person. So to miss the act of the physical like exertion of actually singing loud and sweating like that, to know that I actually like it, or like that I need it to survive. That was a bit surprising. Not to mention, how many people have gone through, just financial despair during this.
Yes.
It's just so tough to see and to feel. Honestly, I went through that as well, where it's just like we're the most desperate, when we're financially destitute. So you really start to feel for people of all walks of life that ever have to go through that.
Yeah, and there's really nothing to prepare you, but I do also think that maybe creative people have a leg up in the sense that you just have to start reimagining how you would normally do something that is normally just something like falling off a cliff. It's like, but now you have to kind of rethink it. And there's never really anything, I'm not a big silver linings kind of person. This is me just grasping at anything positive that comes out of this. But it's like, maybe in some way it made us have to think a little more creatively, a little just less traditionally. Lots of bands were making records and half the band was across the country and throwing stuff in a Dropbox, in their computer. And I mean, that's not ideal for everybody, but people made it work.
Yeah. I think there's a million stories. There's billions of stories, I'm sure, all over the world of people in all of their lines of work or creative endeavors that were interrupted or had to be reimagined. Mine was not very fruitful, honestly.
What did you ever have a moment where you started thinking, what is my plan B?
I choose not to have a plan B because I knew this record was good, honestly.
That's great. That is great.
Yeah. I knew the record was good.
Yeah, I mean, plan Bs can be very desperate and frightening, but you knew this record was good. And then it was just, it was a matter of time of like, because normally you record, it's pressed, it's released, you got your tour, and obviously that just couldn't happen this way. So where you guys are now, what are you booking tours in like smaller increments and then kind of a wait and see attitude, or are you just going, screw it, we're just going to make a huge summer tour?
We've had to be on our heels a bit, obviously. So we've rescheduled a European tour that had to get postponed. That tour has been pushed to the fall for Europe. But before that, we are supporting the Black Keys on a North American tour.
Cool.
And we have some dates here and there, like smaller festival kind of things. We're going to Mexico for a second. Stuff like that where we can kind of pop in and out. But these are sustained tours in Europe, and the one with Black Keys, which is, it still feels like one of those like, oh my God, is this really going to happen kind of thing?
Does it feel that way because of your admiration for their music and output?
No.
Or no?
No.
It's just that.
It's just like none of us can believe anything's going to happen at all.
I know.
Yeah.
It's kind of a wait and see. I'll believe it when I see it kind of thing. But
that's no knock on their music too. Like
no.
I do respect them, but it's more just, you'll believe it when you see it kind of thing sometimes.
Who watches your dogs when you're gone?
My friend Jenna, she's here somewhere back there.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And your most recent rescue was the beauty that was in the shot earlier?
Yeah, that's Lucille, yeah.
Did your dog choose you, or did you choose your dog?
God, my kids chose for me to have that dog. They thought
Really?
I was lonely. Yeah, because I was like living by myself. They're like, Daddy needs a dog, and this neighbor's got these puppies. Daddy, you got to get a dog. So I'm like, okay, I'll get a dog. But now half of them are like, I don't want the dog near me. It's like, y'all wanted the dog. But right. I love that dog, and she's probably saved me more than I saved her.
Hell yes. I think that's true just down the line with rescues. But there's a lot of people who took in a few four-legged friends during the pandemic and lockdown. And it makes sense. It does make sense, because at a time when everything is completely upside down, if an animal's a pretty sure thing. It's unconditional love 24/7.
Indeed. Even if it's like hard work at times, like loneliness is a real thing. And I feel like that dog really helped me just stay away from too dark of loneliness.
That is absolutely true. I've heard people say, not to get too crazy, but people who've struggled with drugs and they said, I actually was going to use drugs, and I looked at my dog and I thought, I'm not going to do this in front of you.
Yeah.
Your dog, it's because of yes, it's like, I don't believe in God. I believe in dog, because I think everybody thinks their dog is the best and nobody's wrong. It's like,
right.
Completely. I practically tear up seeing a dog with its head out of a car window.
Oh yeah.
Just seeing that makes me just like, but so you have this idea of a tour, which you're sort of feeling like, yeah, we'll believe that when we see it. But what do you have, what is the most immediate thing you have to prepare for right now?
That's TV? A great question. No, we just got done with some TV. So thank God, that's out of my system for a second. The next thing.
You don't think that?
Oh, no, it just, I used to think, it doesn't matter if you do good. It doesn't matter if you do bad. No one's really going to care that much. I understand the marketing aspect of it. I understand what it means as far as like, visual collateral for the label folks and, the publicists and things. I get it. For some reason, it actually scared me this time. Just doing it last week, it really rattled me, where it didn't used to for a while there. I'm not sure if I'm just out of practice or what. But
what show did you do?
We did the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, and then we did CBS Saturday Morning News, which was a couple songs, or it was a handful, 3 songs. I found myself trying not to vomit during the first verse on the Tonight Show. So rattled. So I'm
Why do you think it was so different than any other time you've performed on TV?
Well,
have you always wanted to heave when you're on TV?
No, I haven't. To be perfectly honest, I think social anxiety and stuff really started to like pop up in my life. around like getting divorced and stuff like that. Or maybe it's just like my age. Social anxiety really started to like get its grips on me. So I think it's mostly that. I'm still, maybe I'm still bouncing back from just, emotional upheaval. Either way, I'll now be getting ready for a couple of festival performances. One in North Carolina. One, Ben, where else are we going? Dang, I can't remember right now. There's another one we're doing, and then we're going to Mexico as well for a festival performance. But it's a bit light right now because we're still kind of in that. We were being cautious not to book too much stuff in case things fell apart. But it's starting to kick up really soon.
So, yes. And when you were sort of at the height of your anxiety, did good friends, well-meaning friends ever try to throw, you should really try to meditate at you?
Oh, God.
And you know how, I'm going to just assume you feel the way about it I do. There's no quieting the voices in my head when I'm feeling that anxious. And
oh, God, yeah.
God bless the person who can actually get to a place of nothingness. But that ain't me. But I just always think that's something very well-meaning people suggest for your anxiety. Like, well, listen, just get quiet with your thoughts. It's like if you knew what my thoughts were, you wouldn't want to be alone in a room with them.
Yeah, what I want is a trank dart in my neck.
Pretty much.
Give me something that makes me fall asleep, so when I wake up, it doesn't hurt so bad. How about that?
Yeah, exactly. A little extra sodium pentothal laying around. It's kind of true. Well, I am very excited. You do have a Minneapolis. See, now I don't have my homework in front of me. I know you have a Minneapolis date.
I'm not sure that we do actually.
Yeah, we'll cut this out.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
I don't think we do.
You don't? Okay.
No, because I have friends up there. I used to live up there. Like, I have friends up there, and they're like, why no Minneapolis date?
Are your friends still here?
I have a lot of good friends still up there, yeah.
Like who? Tell me.
Okay, Martin Dosh. He used to be in Andrew Bird's band. My friend Jacob Groon's up there. I have a bunch of people. I mean, God, the people that worked at First Ave. I got a bunch of friends up there still. And my ex-wife, she grew up in Shakopee up there. My ex-mother-in-law lives up there. I mean, I have a lot of good friends up there.
Yeah. Well, I'm certain, again, when things start rolling out in a way that's, I don't know. See, who am I talking to? I honestly feel like there's a part of me that's like, I'm just waiting for kind of the other shoe to drop and go, well, what's the new variant and what's the new this? But I'll take this whole, hey, the mask restrictions are lightening up and this and this. And, always within the back of my mind, like, yeah, and then that'll just come to a screeching halt again. And, and it's sort of hard to be super joyous and spontaneous within this.
Yes, we have to. We must remain optimistic and not pessimistic, but you also do it with caution, because getting your hopes up, obviously, in the past couple of years have been a bit devastating for a lot of people.
Yes. Do you watch the news?
Yeah.
Can I ask what news you follow?
Today I was watching the BBC. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I prefer the BBC over like American news television.
Yeah, I kind of know where you're going with that. And at some point too, I think within the last 4 years of the world's going on, I started to think, are we as humans actually equipped to be able to absorb this much information coming at us at this pace 24/7? And I thought, no, we're not. And so for a lot of us to feel sort of checked out or guilty or feeling like they're sitting in a place of privilege that they don't have to worry about a bomb falling on their head or whatever it happens to be, it really does boil down to the amount of information coming at it is unnatural. And I don't think anybody could possibly absorb it and be like super healthy and rad.
Oh my God. And you know, during these times when everyone was like locked down, you know, no one could go anywhere. And
Right.
I did have friends that were just watching way too much news
Mm-hmm.
and having to say like, yo, take a break from watching that, you know, all damn day. You're just sitting there getting bombarded, not only by commercials, but by this like constant dread, the dread of the human existence, you know, like really just beating you over the head. It can't be good for the water in your body. So I had to make a concerted effort to stay away from the news. But now that things have turned, well, the crisis in Ukraine, I do find myself waking up and checking that first to see what's going on.
Right.
But staying away from American media, because I feel like I just get like maybe a bit more clear course of stream or whatever. But I got to tell you, even on this record, I talk about that people losing their families to Fox News and stuff like that, where it's like, okay, I can't go there for Christmas no more. I can't go there for Christmas no more.
I've had a loss in the family. Yes, there's been a
Very
death
much.
in the family. I know.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
It's a real thing. And if you'd lived in Minneapolis, we were the news. So it wasn't it wasn't even like I could choose not to watch what was happening 7 blocks from my house. It was surreal.
Terrible. It was terrible.
Yeah. Is there anything I can say that would make this interview like a lot
more cheery,
a lot better, or a lot?
I think you're doing great. I don't mind it being deep. I don't mind it being interesting.
I mean, this is how I just talk, I guess, and I don't know what else.
No, it doesn't have to always be funny. It doesn't always have to be cheery, and it doesn't always have to be about the damn record. Like, you know what I'm saying? We can just talk.
Yes, I know. Okay, do you follow any sports teams?
Very much. I got these 2 tattoos, my Georgia Bulldogs and my Atlanta Braves. They both won their respective championships for the first time in my life. The Georgia Bulldogs, basically, I was 2 when they won the first time or the last time. And so they finally won a national championship, which is, I mean, a dream come true. The fact that the Braves also won a championship, I mean, is insane. I can't, like, my parents, my whole family are Georgia people. I'm born here in South Carolina, but we're born with like, you know, like a Georgia onesie or a Braves onesie on. Yes, I follow them way too much, maybe.
Did you ever go to a game during the pandemic when they were sort of allowing some people to go?
No.
Yeah, that just would not have been right either.
No, I didn't go anywhere. I went to the grocery store and back here, basically.
Yeah, did you get your dog food delivered?
No, I went and got it. But, I mean.
Chewy.com is actually good.
Yeah. Honestly, I was broke. I didn't want to pay the extra $15 service charge for that stuff. I'm still broke, and I ain't doing that.
No, I hear you. Well, this is all I'll tell you what the most positive part of all this interview is, Ben, is that you have not even considered the plan B, because your confidence in this record, the time and energy and emotion and guts and PTSD that goes into writing songs for a record that's very personal is one of the most positive things I can think of.
Thank you. I guess it's not all a loss, you know. I mean, I do think there's a lot to gain from it, and especially if other people get to take those stories and incorporate that into their own lives, whether it be positive or negative, to lean in or lean out.
Absolutely. Well, Ben, I'm not going to keep you. I got to go do some crap, but thank you very much for chatting and keeping it real with me, because I am the kind, I've done this long enough where there are some days where it's like, I can't walk in here and start going, the production.
So tell me about your, exactly.
The production on track 2 had so I'm really grateful.
So boring sometimes, I'm sure. And honestly, I prefer like a real chat about real stuff. Over just the same question. So thank you so much. I needed that to wake me up.
Right on. Thank you, Ben. Have a great day.
You have a great day. I'll talk to y'all soon.
Kiss those doggies for me.
I will. All right. Bye, dog. Bye.